What's up, guys? This is Tony Shoe, and today we're going to take a look at the Nike Air Force 1 Low Off-White Lemonades. Let's get it, YouTube. Before we get into this video, guys, if you haven't done so already, please smash that like button. And for future content, hit the subscribe. So we have a special video today, guys. As you can see, we are in a different setting. It's because my buddy Jared's the one that hit these shoes, and he didn't want to be left without them, so he's actually watching me do this right now, making sure I don't mess his shoes up. So here we are. Let's get into this, guys. The Air Force 1, also known as the Uptowns, have been around since, I think, like 1982, 83, basically since I was born. Uptowns have been around forever. And it has been a mainstay in sneaker culture. People, no matter what, it's kind of like Dunks or Reebok Classics or any kind of normal plain shoe that everyone wears. Uptowns, also known as Air Force 1s, the plain white ones at a low, mid, or even high, people have always worn the last 37, 39, 40 years, whatever it might be. People have always worn these shoes. They have a very special place in sneaker culture, and it's actually one of the first ones that were ever retroed by Nike. This sneaker itself was done by Virgil Abloh. It is an off-white, part of the off-white collection. It is one of a few different Air Force 1s that he has went ahead and remixed for us. You have the black ones, I think there was a green one, there's the blue one, which is also known as the MCA ones, which is probably the most popular one because of the fact that it's a very, very wearable colorway. And if you guys watch my videos at all, you know I love my wearable colorways. This one is the Lemonade. Let's take a look at the label. Label says Nike Air Force 1 07/OW University Gold, size 11 men's, USD 150. Here's the label. Just a plain old white box. Right here it says Force Nike Air Force 1. Pretty simple. The whole entire box all around is just white. On the bottom of the box, you have the typical Nike writings you would have for any single Nike Air box, and then you get the label. It is a typical pull-out tab. So you open it up, slide out. You got your tissue paper here. It says basically Force all around it, repeated. And then here are the shoes. Let's take a look. So at first glance, guys, this is a really, really nice yellow. Now, I don't know about you guys, I'm not really a yellow shoes kind of guy. You know, recently I got the Pollens, which I really like. I got the Lightning 4s, but typically I'm not really a yellow guy. Uptowns, I haven't owned a pair of Uptowns in, God, 10, 15, 20 years, probably since I was in college. It's not really my style anymore. It was my style back when I was younger, and I used to wear a lot of streetwear, stuff like that nature. I typically don't wear too many Uptowns anymore. I still probably have a pair of white Uptowns just to have it. I do have a pair of mids that my wife got me a little while ago, but that's pretty much it. I'm typically a very, very certain type of Jordan silhouette guy, a few basic Nike Air Maxes, and a Yeezy kind of sneakerhead. I don't really typically have a lot of Air Force 1s. Now, that's not to say I don't appreciate them. This one you can definitely appreciate. Now, let's get this out of the way. If this did not have a hang tag, it didn't have all these shiny, silvery swooshes, the off-white, the deconstructed look all around it, this wouldn't be as hot as it is right now. Obviously, it's a little insane that this thing has reached $15, $16, $18, $2,000 in price ever, in resale price, but that's just the resale market. People love these special collaboration sneakers. Now, let's give it its due. This is a very nice sneaker. You know, the deconstructed tongue, the deconstructed ankle collar, the special little silver stitched swoosh, as well as the fact that, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's actually a little bit of, there's a little stitching here over the silver swoosh that just shows you where the swoosh originally was, as well as there's these two little holes in the bottom of the swoosh that show you where the outline of the actual swoosh was. So you kind of have a feeling of how it's a little bit different and how Virgil went above and beyond on deconstructing the whole thing, making it a little bit more unique than your normal typical Air Force One. However, this really is still at its core an Air Force One. You know, the same Air Force One that costs $70 back then, 90 bucks, 110 bucks. And this one retailed for 150, which is now going for 10 times what it retailed for. It's a little insane. A few other aspects of the sneaker that you might really like is the fact that you get a black lace and a yellow lace, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. They always go together, right?
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Black and gold go very, very well together. If you're a Steelers fan, you probably love this even more. Now, another thing about this that's kind of unique is that the hang tag here doesn't have any writing on it. Normally the hang tags, you have the off-white printed on it with Nike, care of Nike or something. This thing has nothing on it. So I don't know if that was supposed to happen. Maybe they just forgot and decided to just mass distribute it all with nothing on the hang tag. But either way, this hang tag, which is, again, this shoe is straight from Nike. My buddy Jared he hits everything, good for him. This one does not come with the hang tag. And again, one other thing that's kind of weird is that it doesn't feel like a typical hang tag. The actual piece of the hang tag is fuzzy, which is also very interesting. Usually the hang tags have a little bit of a glossy feel. This one has like a fuzzy, suede, nubuck kind of feel. So a few other aspects of this sneaker that is unique to Off-White is that it's got the orange little hang tag that comes off of the Nike swoosh. You have it here under it. You have it printed here. It says Air in quotations right above where your normal Nike Air shows up here on the Air Force One. On the medial side, you have the other Nike silver swoosh along with the off-white writing, you know, the Oregon, USA writing you would normally get on the off-whites. You have it underneath the stitched on swoosh. And that's actually one of the coolest parts about this shoe is that the swoosh is stitched in. You actually see the detail that they have in the swoosh where it actually is really, really nicely, perfectly stitched in on each single piece of the swoosh itself. Now, my favorite part of the whole entire sneaker probably is the heel here. The heel tab says Nike Air, but it looks like they actually went ahead and stitched some kind of leather piece on top of the Nike Air to give it a little bit more contrast. So you see the Nike Air kind of come out of the stitching that they put on top of it. If you look at the back, so that's something that is unique I haven't seen before. Besides, I think it came like that with the MCAs also. Really, really interesting. Really gives it some nice contrast, and it's really cool that it's just a yellow Nike Air with that stitching on top of it. And you actually can see right next to it where the stitching kind of goes over the Nike Air that's also stitched into the shoe. So really, really nice feature. On the tongue here, you have the typical off-white deconstructed tongue. And then on the tongue, you have off in quotations with Nike Air right there. Now the rest of the shoe is your typical Air Force One. You have your typical very, very thick midsole on your Air Force One. Regular Air Force One outsole looks exactly the same as all of them do with the Nike right here in the middle. And the rest of the sneaker looks like an Air Force One. You know, you got the typical mudguard, typical toe box. Everything about it looks exactly what you'd expect from a Nike Air Force One. So if you like Air Force Ones, you like Off-White, you like yellow, you're gonna love this shoe. It is exactly that. Now, this is the first time I've actually had a Off-White Air Force One in my hands. It does feel really nice in terms of the feeling of the shoe. The leather is a really, really nice soft leather. It definitely feels a little softer than your typical Air Force One. Air Force One already standard, the way they come, are a decently nice shoe. The reason why you don't think of them that way is because you see them so much. You know, if you go out anywhere in the country, people are wearing Air Force Ones. All white, low top, everywhere you go. They probably have two pairs. Or 3 pairs. And it's sitting in their closet, waiting to go. It's a very, very nice sneaker. It's very, very plain. You can pretty much match it with anything. This shoe is the polar opposite of that. It's not plain at all. It's very loud. It's very bright. And you go anywhere with this shoe, you are going to be noticed right away, which is probably the whole point of getting this shoe. I will say again, the blue one is the more wearable one, but me personally, like this is totally me. I love this. Would I ever wear this more than once a year, if that? Probably not. This probably go honestly in the display case, on the wall, something that I would look at once in a while. But for 1,800 bucks, 2,000 bucks, would you wear this? Let me know in the comments below if you guys would actually wear this shoe if you hit. If you hit on the sneakers, congratulations. What are you doing with the shoe? Are you selling it? Don't be afraid to admit it. If you are one of those people that literally got this shoe just because it is a off-white and said, I really, really want to get it in my hands, and then said to yourself, wow, StockX going for 1,600, 1,800 bucks. At time of recording right now, sizes, typically the pricing for StockX is ranging from 1,500 all the way to 1,800 bucks. That's what your typical range is right now, depending on what size you have. I don't know about you, that's like more than half my mortgage payment. So for me, it'd be pretty hard for me to keep this shoe. But comment below, let me know what you think. Let me know if this is something that you actually would wear yourself. Would this go into your rotation? Would this be something that you would normally rock all the time? Or is this something that you'd probably say to yourself, you know what, this shoe, if I sold it, this would pay for like 4 or 5 pairs of my shoes. And then rent. Or pay for my utility bills, or pay for my cell phone bills. Let me know what you guys think. Compare this to the blue pair. Compare it to the black pair. Which one do you guys like the most? Now for me, again, the yellow pair probably is my favorite because it's bold, because it's loud, because it's kind of unique and special. For me, the black one just looks like a black Air Force One. I'm not super excited about that one. The blue one was my favorite up till now. Now the blue one, also keep in mind guys, is selling for more money. So if you are trying to sell this shoe, is it something you're going to sell right now? Or something you're going to hold and wait 6 months or a year down the road to see if maybe the price jacks back up, kind of like the blue one did. Thank you for watching today's video, guys. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like button. For future content, hit the subscribe. Until next time, see ya.